Welcome to Talkin Giants, presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bobby Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Pennick, and we are here in Chicago. It is 4th of July week, so we always try to do something different during this week, since NASCAR literally paid us to come here and show us a good time in Chicago. It's going to be a little NASCAR themed. So we have this year's Daytona 500 champion, Ricky Stenhouse, who's an Ole Miss / Eli Manning guy.
Yeah.
Even got a little Evan Ingram talk in there. We have a little bit of time with William Byron, who has the most wins in the series this year with 3, who's a friend of Daniel Jones. Great interview with him. Very short, but great.
Yeah.
We have Talkin Jake, our boss. Got really heated. Actually went into some contract stuff.
Yep.
What the future holds, so that's good, but pretty fun. I'm really hoping we can get an ad deal done with NASCAR. I'm really hoping we get to go to the Daytona 500 next year.
That would be cool.
I'm addicted to getting free tickets and luxury treatment from NASCAR.
And also, I may be mad at the socials team if they don't post something that our guy Ronnie put together. So I may also include a behind the scenes victory lane footage in this YouTube video too. So you may get the chance to see that.
Something I've learned is just let people do the socials and don't bother them about it.
Or just if they don't want to post it, I'll post it. How about that? Bobby Skinner. Hello, everyone. We are in Chicago. It was a cool weekend. Thank you to NASCAR for sending us out. I mean, this is the second race of the year that they've sent us out, and Daytona, which is the Super Bowl of NASCAR, and then this is I don't know the comparison. Maybe this is the Pro Bowl, right? Like a big event. No, Pro Bowl's bad for football. Let's not use that as a comparison. This is a cool event. They've never done it before. They've never done something like this before.
Wild card weekend.
Wild card weekend, because that's actually a fun weekend and a lot's going on. This was much better than I thought it was going to be. The drivers were passing each other. There was strategy that was involved. There was strategy that merged with Formula One. So that was cool to kind of dissect and see happening in the moment. So NASCAR's cool. NASCAR's a cool sport. I liked it before, and I kind of like it even more now. And and I didn't think I was going to like it even more.
All right, so hope you guys enjoy. Let's kick it to 2023 Daytona 500 champion, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
So you heard from Team Van
We now welcome onto the program Daytona 500 champion, driver of the number 47, Sonny D car.
I like
this
that
weekend,
car,
right?
Sonny D this weekend, but I mean,
I had a
Irish
Sonny
Spring
D
works
one
good.
and I didn't bring it.
That's all right.
Ricky Stenhouse, driver of the number 47. So we want to keep people on for the whole interview, and 90% of our Giants fans aren't NASCAR fans yet, but this is how we're going to get them.
Yeah.
You're an Ole Miss guy.
Yes.
Where does Eli Manning rank on your Ole Miss legends?
Ole Miss legends?
Even personal heroes too.
You could pander and say number 1.
Yeah, I mean, God, there's been some really good football players play at Ole Miss. But I mean, two-time Super Bowl champion, right?
Two-time Super Bowl MVP.
And MVP.
Yeah. Hall of Famer in about 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, top of the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Top of the list.
Who's your guy now that maybe in the NFL or that you're watching closely?
Well, DK Metcalf came from
Yeah.
Ole Miss. Obviously, he's a stud.
That was a hell of a year. DK Metcalf and AJ Brown on one team.
Yeah. I think we had Laquan Treadwell at the same time.
Yeah, and Dawson Knox, the tight end for the Bills. That was an awesome wide receiver.
Yes. Evan Ingram.
So we know Evan Ingram as Giants fans.
Yeah.
And he had a drop problem. And for football fans, drops are the easiest way to get into fans' bad graces. But he had a good year with Jacksonville, so it's good to see him doing well.
He maybe redeemed himself a little bit.
He had a better
Still
year.
doesn't sit well with your fans.
No, it's like if you bring up, even if you say something, we did a clip of him getting a touchdown the other day. It's just kind of a bad word.
Close.
So time out, a lot of your Giants work out in North Carolina in the offseason, huh?
Daniel Jones, he likes to bring all those guys through there.
Yeah, that's in Mooresville area. Our NASCAR, that's Race City, USA. So your Giants players, a lot of them are working out in race country, so they should like racing.
A couple years ago, Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton, and David Sills went and played basketball at Hamlin's court.
Yeah.
So, and we just got William Byron, who I think is close with Daniel Jones, the North Carolina connection.
Yeah.
But hey, we were at the Daytona 500.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. We won while y'all were there. I'm gonna have to pass every single car out there because I think we're gonna start last now, maybe second to last because we have to go to a backup car. I hit the wall a little too hard in practice, so
It seems like everyone did though. So I want to.
a few people did. I was feeling really bad about myself, and then I saw like 3 more come in on the wrecker, and so I felt a little bit better. I still feel bad for my guys having to, work on a whole new car, but man, this race is gonna be wild.
It really is. We didn't know what to expect coming in, and we were watching qualifying, and it seems like everyone's having a tough time. So when 38,
We're just trying
39
to press
cars
the
up
issue,
there.
and the faster you go, the closer to the inside wall you need to get, so that you have room on the exit of the corner. And we're just misjudging that just a little bit. Like I turned in turn 8 too early, hit the wall with the right side, just probably an inch too early.
And Elliott, I think Elliott
and
Harvick
did the
that.
same thing, and so. Some of the best did it, so it makes you feel a little bit better.
So do you think it's going to lead to, obviously, we'll see on Sunday, but do you think it's going to lead to a more aggressive product, or are people going to be kind of careful in the beginning?
I think we'll be a little cautious. I think we'll have a lot of green flag laps. Which is good. I mean, the race fans want to see us, make laps under speed. So, I think it's going to be good. I think a lot of guys will be cautious. But you'll have to be aggressive to pass. There's different areas of the racetrack, to press the issue to make passes, and I feel like you will definitely have to be aggressive.
Yeah, and I like the new car too. If this was the old car, maybe
this
hit
car
handles
this track really well.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be rough. Watching the Xfinity cars, they bounced around a lot. We did our track walk, and man, turn 4 looked really rough, but it ended up being okay.
Yeah. And the cars can take damage too. Which,
They can if you hit the wall in the correct way. Don't hit it in the wrong way.
Right. All right, so kind of wanted to ask this at the top. Love that we got some racing talk in. Is this like the most niche podcast you've ever been on? A New York Giants podcast?
I mean, that is definitely
Do you have an NFL
got
team?
a centered, no.
New York Giants.
New York Giants
Just
it is.
pander. We're trying to create fans for
Yes.
you. Pander to them.
And New York Giants. So I always just kind of pull for anywhere kind of Ole Miss players go.
Yeah.
So growing up, kind of right south of Memphis. I mean, at one point we had the Tennessee Oilers in Memphis because I grew up right south of Memphis, and then then they moved to Nashville. But not a exact NFL team.
So I grew up into racing, kind of got back into it this year after going to the 500. But we
Where'd you grow up?
Florida, an hour south of New Smyrna. We race out there.
Oh,
a little bit. I'm worried about when the NFL season starts. I want to watch every single race, the playoffs. I've got to figure out how to balance that. How do you kind of like get your Ole Miss updates through? Well, you're out here on
I
Saturday.
just look at updates, and then we can watch the early games a little bit before we get in our cars. We're normally like a 3:00 start time, so we can kind of watch that before we go get in the car. And the overseas games, we get to see the whole thing before we get in the car.
Oh yeah,
so.
that was good.
Sure.
Who did you root for growing up as a driver?
Jeff Gordon.
Okay.
Yeah, he raced sprint cars, which is what I did and what my dad did. So obviously I cheered for my dad and looked up to my dad, but like on the NASCAR side, Jeff Gordon was my guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
You did the take me out to the ball game at
Ooh,
the
yeah.
Cubs. Our company is mostly baseball. We're like the outcasts of the football.
Well, y'all really found your market, huh?
Oh yeah. what were the nerves like going into it? Because it seemed like Harrison and then I can't remember who else was with
John
you.
Hunter.
We're telling you,
They
like,
were
come
not
on,
like,
go ahead.
Yeah, so I was kind of explaining to them like, hey, first off, you can't screw this up at Wrigley. There's some set rules, and they're like, oh wow. Do you want to like lead us off? I'm like, yeah, I will. So John Hunter did a great job, I thought, throwing the first pitch out. Got it across the plate, kind of in line. So he did a good job with that. And then, once they put you on the big screen and all the fans like turn around and look at you, you're like, oh no, like it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. So they seem to get into it, and they seem to. At least they didn't boo us. It was not. Speaking of my hero Jeff Gordon growing up, watching him, he was horrible. It was bad. He butchered it. So didn't do that. But yeah, no, all is good.
How much does it cost to get one sticker on the car?
Wow.
Ooh, I'd have to talk to my team.
Like over
How
under.
much cash did you bring?
I got 200 in my pocket. How much do you have?
I have 250s.
250.
250s.
That's a good way to make you feel like he has more. Say 250s.
Yeah,
250s.
So he's got $100.
We got 100 right there.
Now I have 450s.
450.
Yeah, 450. 450s plus. I got 200.
Dude.
I got 10 20s. So
10 20s.
Yeah, 10 20s.
All right. I don't know if that's gonna work.
All right.
Well, we
But
tried.
I mean,
how much trouble would we get in going through the garage? No one's looking. Just give a little slap on the
let's
back.
do it and
I don't
say
honestly
we did.
think you would get in trouble. And then like somebody would notice
Good to
on
know.
some of the cars, but like some of the cars they might not. So then you would have a sticker on the car.
Post-race inspection, like what?
Maybe you can stick it
How'd
on the
that get
wall
on?
somewhere. Like
We,
On
it's
the
We
like,
have to do that.
because
at
you're
some point.
6'7", you'll get up.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll have to do
put
that
it where
at
they
some point.
can't reach
That's
it.
right.
And then you're good.
We're airing this on Monday.
Yep.
Oh,
If you win this race, let's
We just won the race.
Yeah,
No.
you just won the race. What's your reaction?
yes, it's great. Hope y'all enjoyed the race.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think about the race? Was it good?
It was amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, you won. That's why you're here with
Yeah.
the #1 New York Giants podcast. That's the number
Yes.
one interview after a race win.
I do
Did-
want to ask about JTG.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to go back to some racing stuff. There was about a 6-week stretch this year where it was like top 10, top 15, and it's been a lot of fun. So I think NASCAR's best, like when you have not just the Titans of the Hendricks
Yeah.
and the Gibbs of
Yeah.
the cars kind of compete, and that's part of the reason why I like the newer cars, especially at the mile and a
Right,
half
yeah.
and the super speedways. We'll work on the short tracks. I can say that, you don't have to say that.
Okay.
So, talk to me about kind of like the belief that you have in JTG, the belief that in you guys that you have in each other. 'Cause I
Yeah.
feel like you need that, especially with the single car team. You don't have any other person like relay information off with that second car and stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
crazy to think, we got 35 employees really going up against
35?
everybody else. Yeah, so we got a really strong group of racers that have worked together for a long time. And actually, just this past week, had them all out at the house for kind of celebrating our Daytona 500 win.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's just cool that, this car, like we know we got the same parts and pieces as everybody else. They're not, out manufacturing us. It's just making sure that we learn everything that we can from, we got a relationship with Hendrick.
Yeah.
And so taking all the information that we can get and making sure we apply it the correct way.
Awesome.
You're locked in the playoffs, obviously, with the 500 win. What's the track in that last 10 races that you look at? Like that's the place we could capitalize on.
Well, we got, obviously got Talladega.
Yeah. First win was there, right?
First win was there. Bristol's another one that I feel like we run really well at. Darlington we ran well. I don't know about going in and just like dominating that race and winning it, but I feel like we can put in a solid top 5, top 10 effort. And just continue to gather points and try to keep moving on through the playoffs.
We finish it off with this. What's the most annoying question you get from non-NASCAR people?
Yeah.
Most of them are just like, where do you go to the bathroom?
Yep.
Yeah, where's Canobio? He talked with Cindric. He's like, I'm gonna ask him that, and I gave him a do not
hard
ask him
no.
that.
Yeah. You're smart.
And I think he did anyways, right?
Yeah.
You asked Cindric where they went to the bathroom
He said it just seeps out.
with sweat.
Sure.
Let's clarify
Sure.
through sweat.
Yeah.
Gotta ask.
Same here, to be honest.
Ricky Stenhouse
Yes.
Jr. Yeah. Daytona 500 champion, Chicago Street Race champion. We can edit that out if it doesn't happen.
That's right.
And you know what? Let's just call he's going to win the championship
Wow.
this year.
Heard it here first.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, guys.
the man.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., this year's Daytona 500 winner, for coming on the pod, talking some Ole Miss, Eli Manning, and I kind of liked asking him some NASCAR questions too. I'm a little bit of a nerd about that. Before we kick it to our next segment, we got to talk about Bird Dogs. That's right, Bird Dogs. Big choice of travel clothing at John Boy Media. Talkin' Jake talks about that all the time. We're going to talk to Jake coming up soon. Bird Dogs, they make me feel good. They make Jake feel good. They make Bobby feel good. They make us all feel good. And I got to admit, they make the tushes look pretty good too, and that matters. My mother talks about how good my tush looks all the time. Isn't that weird? Their khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. That's where the tush comes in. Bird Dog shorts fit way better than regular shorts, and they're made from a stiff, restricting cotton. Bird Dogs, they also use their anti-stink sweat wicking fabric. That's key, especially in Chicago. We were schwitzing up this weekend wearing the Bird Dogs out in the streets of Chicago. Schwitzing. I don't want to stink with the anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps me cool and dry all day long. I want you to go to birddogs.com/giants or enter promo code GIANTS for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/giants. Promo code GIANTS for a free Yeti-style tumbler. Bobby Skinner, you'll be glad you did. Let's talk to Talkin' Jake.
You'll be glad you did. Let's talk to William Byron, NASCAR win leader and Daniel Jones' best friend.
Wow. You always love throwing a curveball in there.
Maybe improve our car a little bit overnight, but overall I think we're capable of, I would say, running in the top 10. So we just gotta have a smooth race.
One of the drivers mentioned that the heat with the bumpers. What are you?
Oh yeah, it's I'm really hot, but I've been hot all year, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I feel warm in there. Heart rate was high. I think I was like 180, so max heart rate, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be a test, but at least it's gonna be cool tomorrow, so I'm not too worried about the heat.
What'd you think of your friend Daniel Jones' contract, and is he the guy?
Yeah, I think Daniel's doing a good job. I mean, he's really coming into his own. I saw he was on the stage with Zach Bryan the other night singing, so he's definitely coming into his own, and I feel like he's got a tough job, being quarterback of the Giants. So, I mean, it seems like he's doing, it seemed like in the playoffs last year he was starting to get it going, and they just faced a really tough team.
What are the best places to pass out there?
All right, thanks, William Byron, Daniel Jones' friends. Here's Talkin' Jake. All right, first time on the show because we couldn't get anybody else. Our boss, Jake Storiale, Talkin' Jake. First question, where's John Boy?
One of those, hey, where's John Boy? He just had a kid. He's doing well.
You just had a kid?
I have not. James did. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Glad I can come give my NASCAR take somewhere, finally.
Mm-hmm.
You coming on my podcast is how I got my job. Simple Man Radio back in the day.
Yeah, man.
I messaged Bronx Pinstripes and Talkin' Yanks. Bronx Pinstripes at that time had so many more followers, and I was hoping they would message back. Ended up working out that Talkin' Yanks.
And now we're in Chicago. In the 5th floor of the gaming room.
Was that your first NASCAR race you watched?
That was my first. In person, yes. We were doing a little memory lane before. Like,
we were.
NASCAR used to be kind of summer Sundays.
The second most popular sport in America was like it was football, and then NASCAR is the second.
Like, you knew a lot of the
thing.
1998 Daytona
We were
500
going
drivers.
through the Dale Jarretts and all those, and it was like, okay, yes, So I don't know, but this was fun. Obviously, Chicago was trying to put on a show. They did a little bit. Very scary with the rain for a little bit, but I don't know. We landed in a good place. It was a good time.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. First time winner. First time just ever racing.
Ever in
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
In a NASCAR race, yeah. Which is like best case scenario, best case result for everything like that. But Talkin' Jake, Talkin' Giants.
What do we got? What have I missed? Catch me up. The last I see you guys, we're at Mr. Purple.
Yeah.
Or no, excuse me. We go to Billy's after Mr. Purple.
That didn't exist. Can we talk about Mr. Purple?
What's our off-season grade? Like, if this is hokey talking Giants stuff, have me back off. But, like, catch me up a little bit on Giants.
I'm at a B+.
Okay.
I mean, they did everything they set out to do. They traded a third-round pick for a possibly elite weapon. Obviously, comes with baggage and Darren Waller. You get your linebacker in Bobby Okereke, get a corner in the first round, get a speedy wide receiver, fill your hole at center. Like, I think they really did set out everything. Now, do those players develop? Does Deontay Banks, John Michael Smith, and Jalen Hyde develop into good players? Those are things to be seen. Can Darren Waller stay healthy? But for the most part, they set out to do everything they wanted to that they could, besides getting that wide receiver one. But in reality, there was no wide receiver one out there for them to get.
Which is why it's like a B+ for me. Even though they're like, yeah, there wasn't a wide receiver one to get. I mean, they still need a wide receiver one. That was one of the goals that we kind of had into the offseason. So that's why it's like, hey, it's a B+.
I love Waller. I'm the guy that will draft Waller in fantasy because
you saw him twice a year as a Bronx fan.
If he's healthy for 6 weeks, you still take that. So okay, excited for you guys on that. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Any big changes in the division? Obviously, like Eagles are.
Cowboys added some talent. Brandon Cooks to get a second wide receiver in there. But I want to relate it to the Yankees right now. We're in the middle of summer with baseball.
Oh no.
After the last 5 years, I wouldn't think this is a realistic question at all. Who is closer to their next championship? The New York Yankees or the New York Giants?
The New York Yankees?
There has been a big. Justin Pennick's been really frequenting the office these days, and we like that. Pennick, I think he's realized this question and that the Giants may be an answer, and he is so happily asking any Yankees fan that will listen.
Oh, that's the question that Justin's been asking?
Justin has loved asking this question around the office because I think for the first time, and he's a Yankee fan himself, but he also likes that the Yankee fans who are not Giants fans are put into a little bit of a vice.
Yes. Oh, I am right there, too.
Because right now, the Yankees aren't the answer. I don't know if the Giants are either. I gave Pennick a Jets the other day, and he almost cold.
I actually think the Yankees still are closer. They were one of the. I do think the Yankees are still closer. They were one of the last 4 teams.
They're the Yankees.
They do have star players. They can be a couple pieces away, and a couple batters getting hot. But I mean, that's not like this year.
The NFL's
obviously.
kooky though.
Yeah, but that's where the NFL is like you have the right coach in place, you have a quarterback you could trust to win games. That's where it's like, okay, then you always have a chance when you kind of have those things together.
NFL's kooky but fake kooky. Like, you look back and now the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl every year. Like, you look back and Brady went to the Super Bowl every year. Like, football kind of has that, like, blanket over it.
Difference is NFC. I mean, name the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC, and it's like, it's not like, okay, we got our Mahomes, Allen, Herbert.
Justin Fields came into discussion today.
Oh, we saw Justin Fields today.
Justin Fields.
And
some controversial
I think Justin Fields can be good, but
Yes.
the amount of confidence in people that Justin Fields is just going to be good no matter what is insane. It's insane. It's one thing like, hey, I think this guy can make a jump. But what he showed as a passer last year was a guy who just is like, has like one more year left to figure it out.
Yeah.
Not like MVP, like, oh, this guy's a step away from making MVP. He's a few steps. Now adding DJ Moore, huge. And then he's got the running ability, which helps make up for all you learn that.
Exactly.
So
we've done this on Simple Man. We've done this on Wake and Jake. The true answer is in the middle.
The confidence
he could be good.
is insane.
He hasn't shown enough for people to be like, he's going to be a top 3 quarterback. Maybe if you're in fantasy, because he's going to rush for 110.
He'll be a great fantasy quarterback this year.
No, I mean, I realize he wasn't surrounded by talent. Like, both arguments are laid out perfectly.
Sure.
He didn't have talent.
The talent, the line, and the lack of weapons is huge.
He has enough talent to be good. There's no, like, everyone's right.
Right.
Now,
Second year in the system.
That's why it's a perfect sports argument.
For sure.
Did we get on camera me yelling Azeez Ojulari strip sack at Justin
No, I don't think we
Fields?
did.
My brain camera
did.
If we do have that on camera, I think it'd be a good Talkin' Giants clip.
I thought it was one of those. I thought that was a real special moment that you and Justin Fields were in the same place at the same time.
And your brain went to Azeez Ojulari.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting into the event. I was a little aggravated about how the day went, but once we were in there, it was actually really cool.
Yeah.
And I hope they let us like do some more NASCAR.
We haven't
stuff.
done this yet because race car Ronnie, who's here helping out. We were all in it. We were a half-hour rain away from a bad day.
Yeah.
Oh, we're half hour.
And
Like,
we
do we
had-
delay
Like,
planes?
texting,
Get a
like,
new
we're
hotel? Do we go
talking-
flight-wise?
Yeah, are we canceling for the July plans? We almost entered the bad place, so I'm glad we got where we got.
And
for sure.
the weather was amazing. I mean, it was like a nice, cool, brisk day.
Yeah,
like compared
right?
to
Oh
what was
my
it yesterday,
God.
where we were just walking around in our own
Friday.
sweat.
We first showed up in like Cinderella. We're at NASCAR. Dude, we walked for a quarter of a mile, and I dove into the merch tent because I was like, I hope they have AC because
Yeah.
I'm about to like faint.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did.
Oh, I
walk
had staff members like get out of the way because I was just standing right in front of the AC vent, like after I already purchased my stuff.
I'll give a football question to you guys.
Sure.
You guys know, I enjoy the Giants. I go to the Talkin Giants events. I have a lot of buddies that grew up Giants fans. That also means I wasn't raised an opponent of the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Denver Broncos fan. We just went under some big changes. Are you guys bought in at all? Sean Payton.
So it's hard for me to give up on Russell Wilson,
Okay,
but
let's
it was
go.
so bad last year. It was so bad.
And also seeing how Gino...
And you see how good Pete Carroll is,
And I was
too.
about to say, seeing how Gino was able to operate the
That was a
offense,
bad
it kind of,
sign.
I will say, I
A
hate
year
to be
ago,
like
it
this
was
because
Pete
I
Carroll's
was
an idiot,
I was very
and-
anti-Pete Carroll. And that's exactly where I was about to go. Is I was very anti-Pete Carroll, being like, the way that they're using Russ and they're not letting him cook, remember the whole let Russ cook thing? And then he did it for a little while in Seattle, then they kind of took it away, and it was like, oh, Pete Carroll's an idiot. And then seeing the way that they operated the offense with Gino and how efficient he was able to utilize the middle part of the field more. And then seeing Russ with Denver, and it's like, well, this is different finally without the coaching. But the weapons were still good, and the team was still relatively good. So, I don't know, man.
Knock on wood, he might have had the worst NFL coach ever. There is a chance.
But also, you got to look at it like this too.
I think Sean Payton's going to get the best out of that.
But is it going to be back to
he's
what
going to go
he
look at
was?
Seattle and what they did, and
Right.
I mean, Denver just handed him the keys, gave him everything he single wanted.
There's a chance. There's a legitimate chance.
Also, part of me hates the way everyone makes fun of Russ so much.
They could have gone from one of the bottom 5 worst NFL head coaches ever to a top 5, 10 NFL coach.
In the moment, yeah.
I don't know. That's my biggest hope. I think Russ still has something, and he even showed it in those last couple games. But I don't know, dude. I guess.
Are you trading us Jerry Jeudy?
All right. I mean, probably trade deadline's week 8 now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance, man, because the thing that's daunting to me, and I guess I wanted to get a little pulse from you guys, is when there is that juggernaut, and the Eagles are it right now. I think you guys laugh at me sometimes, because sometimes I have the Madden casual sports fan take. I see the quarterback, the good wide receiver, and I'm like, that works, but everything happens in the line. And watching the Eagles was one of the first true times I appreciated that. Like, they are dominant. Having the Chiefs in our division is just so daunting every season. Like, think about all we just talked about. Is Russ going to be good this year? It's, 70-30. He probably is still good. And even if he's good,
You can go 1 and 5 in your division, 2 and 4.
The Chiefs are going to be better unless Patrick Mahomes gets hurt, which he hasn't really done.
I think you guys are probably about at 8 and 9, 9 and 18, and that one game will be the difference of sneaking into the playoffs or not. And that's going to be up to Russ, because Russ, you guys have some talent on the. I don't know the ins and outs, but you guys have some talent.
No,
it's
been a good roster. That defense always plays they have such an advantage at Mile High that doesn't really get talked about. Having the altitude, man, is real in every sport. These guys come out for a weekend.
Yeah.
People get sick.
Do you think it's an adjustment for him?
No, I think once you're out, if you're out there for 2 weeks, you're good.
Right.
But Ryan Clark literally couldn't play out there.
No,
there's
true.
guys in NFL history that I don't know. I think there's NBA team stats too that the Nuggets at home this year a little different, a little special.
Yeah.
But I think in past years the Rockies have an advantage at home. I don't know. Denver always has that. So if the offense is there, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember texting you when they fired Vic Fangio, and it's like, why?
Why did they?
Why did they? He just had the best defense, and they were a Teddy Bridgewater injury away from being in the playoffs, and that's And with Pat Shurmur, how do you? So Pat Shurmur.
Pat Shurmur, wow.
Just give me like
some
a
talking Giants memory.
impression.
Huh?
Yeah, give me an impression or memory of Pat Shurmur.
Remember him, Giants
Oh
fans?
my God.
Him and Drew Lock was a bad
Vanderbilt,
combo because
Go-Goers.
Shurmur was like a go guy, and Drew Lock was the ultimate like I'll just throw it.
Yeah, and I mean, Drew Lock is doing really well. I follow him on Instagram. I think he just got married. I'm happy for him. I don't think Drew Lock was the answer. And I think, what did we just start talking about with the Broncos? Russell Wilson. Like, a lot of it comes down to the quarterback, man. Like, if you don't have one of the top guns, then you need everything else to go right.
Yeah,
You need a Brian
especially
Daboll. You need Daboll to come in
Yeah.
and change everything and change the attitude. Potential coach next year, Mike Kafka. We were talking about him a little bit. Like, if the Giants have another 10, 11 win year, he's getting a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Like Northwestern guy, always regarded as smart, NFL experience, 2 years coaching. What the outside world would be like, well, they might. If the Giants had a bad coach, that offense could be bad.
Yeah.
But if they have Mike,
would have been. I
right,
mean, and that's what we
and
that's what we've seen.
That.
That's what we've seen. I mean,
So-
and it even goes back to Shurmur. And you know, Shurmur's offense wasn't bad per se. I mean, the talent was bad, and I think the talent. Was the talent better in 2022 than 2019? That's a discussion. Left tackle better.
Let's throw another 20 on the clock.
Yeah, but no, Pat Shurmur, certainly fun days. There you go. You got to think about it. I want to switch. I want to pivot. You mentioned Mr. Purple earlier, and I kind of want to talk about that day.
Okay.
Because I don't know, like, but I think Bobby and I, we were even talking about a couple days too, where just like what that's like. It was like a magical day.
Yeah.
You were there. You had your you were
the
like
end of my
the
bachelor
end of your
party.
bachelor party
It's the end
weekend.
of my bachelor party, yeah.
So I mean, just talk because you had the perspective of kind of bouncing around, kind of being with us, but being in the crowd with the people. Tell me about like your day, your experience through that.
You guys were the safe place because you guys were blocked off.
Yeah.
So but I wasn't trying to hog that camera time and give bad Giants Vikings takes. And I was coming off a 2.5 day bender basically because I was doing a remote wedding, so I wasn't going to do a real bachelor party. So I just told buddies to come to the city, so we just went after it for a couple days. So I wasn't even fully committed to going to Mr. Purple. I was like, I'd love to get there, but it's going to be on the end of a bender. So if I don't, like,
and you brought a few people with you, which was
I
awesome.
brought a couple bodies with me. So I was having a good time, and man, that place was. I didn't know what to expect because again, I was mentally not sure if I could go, so I didn't tap in.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Yeah, there's a rooftop pool," and I was like, "What time out? Where are we going?" The scene was
Bobby
electric,
Skinner
man.
gonna be there?
And I think the thing that is different, and everyone listening to this knows this, but it was definitely a good from our live events, seeing the difference between baseball fans and football fans. I mean, football, you just put so much focus into that one day that you get in those 3 hours that, man, a first down, are you kidding me? Like,
And part of it was we scored every single drive.
Yeah,
like
they
it
were
was
all
just
so nasty.
nonstop. Like I remember going into the Eagles game like, man, my voice is not ready for this.
I was worried about the lawsuit.
And it was like, oh, it's okay, we don't have to talk.
From youth pegging people with shirts.
Oh, that's
I
the
thought
most
someone
fun
was
thing
gonna
about live
lose their
events.
head.
I got someone real good in the Eagles game, and it was like anger filled. Like we scored a touchdown.
There was some David Wells, big lefty, just cocking back.
I have
man.
that clipped on my phone, and then just BBD losing it.
That was Jimmy's highlight. Jimmy was like clapping like this when he saw that. He's like, yes.
No, but that day just changed. I mean, we'll talk some, BTS business stuff too.
Sure.
It changed a lot of about what we can kind of accomplish as
man.
kind of whether you want to say it's a brand, whether just as a people who do Giants, people who do football, people who do the fan experience. It added another man, this is something that we can really kind of tap into as to increase the experience of being a Giants fan. And I would love to provide that for people.
Man. You guys, we're coming out of COVID times that events got straight up canceled. That you got any game, you guys. That's the beauty of football. That we always say one of the things where we got big in baseball was when the audience is there. You get 162 games. You want to talk some Yankees, you fire up your tweets, then you're good.
Yep.
You guys have that. It's what football does best. You own Sunday and you own your game. So during a Giants game, I mean, if you guys could host something in Jacksonville, Florida, you guys could host something in New Jersey. There's Giants fans everywhere.
Yeah.
That you know, that's the beauty of it, man.
Which ESPN layoff surprised you the most?
Ooh, which ESPN layoff surprised me the most? I'll go Susie Colbert. I know there was whispers, but for me, it's just one of those things like Susie Colbert. Like I think there's a lot of discussions that happen whenever ESPN does layoffs that it's like, okay, so is that going to make you stop watching what you're going to watch? And I mean, I don't get as much ESPN pregame and postgame stuff as I used to, but at the same time, like, I don't know, Susie Colbert, 3 decades, like.
Yeah, that's crazy, the 3 decades part, but I also get it from the point of view, it's like, you know how much she was probably paid to do one
You start doing
Monday
a
Night
raise
Football, and
every
that
year.
was it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm trying to think of who.
Steve Young surprised me.
See, Steve Young's in the same boat, though.
I know,
and
but
athletes
a lot
get
of them
just
weren't.
a lot.
That's all of it.
I think McShay might have been the most surprising, even though they had hired a couple younger guys like Matt Miller and Jordan Reed to do draft stuff. Those guys just will never have the clout. Maybe they will have the clout that McShay will have.
Well, they still pay
But-
Kuiper and pumpkin pies.
That's the thing, but it's like you thought maybe like, I mean, McShay's a younger one, but obviously he had some issues he was dealing with. So, anything else, Justin?
Anything else, Jake?
What else you guys got? No. Giants record this year?
We got to save that for training.
Yeah,
we
that's true.
saved that for the
That's
van.
true. When do player profile and projections?
July 24th.
End of this month.
Okay, it's happening. I guess that's where I want to end. When the tweet today that kept popping up on like, know how all the gambling companies, all the sports media companies, they'll end up posting the same thing. It's 7 Sundays until undisrupted NFL
ours was
football.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, we Bobby posted something on the Instagram stories. The Tin Man.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I've watched that video 20 times today.
When Bobby gets that little smile on his face, you know that's good content.
Yes, very much so.
I missed it.
All right, thank you, Jake. Where's John Boy?
Where's John Boy?
All right, where are we putting this interview, last or first? We'll either see you on the. We'll see you.
And
All right, we'll see you guys on Friday. Not exactly sure what we have, but we will see you then. We appreciate you guys.
What
Thanks.
do we think? Idea. I told you this. You didn't respond to me. I'm going to have you respond to me right now. Grump and Snacks, just put them on a Zoom call together. They talk for 45 minutes. Then we put that out.
I can't do that.
Talking Giants, the other guys.
I can't do that. But we'll see what we have coming Friday. We got over-unders coming up, so we got a lot of stuff coming up the pipe. Appreciate you guys. See you then. Until then, let's go Big Blue.